Happy New Year, Patriot Nation. It is 2017, and we are back and in sync like Mariah. This is Patriots Wrap 360.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
What's that?
Oh.
You kidding me? What's that? Playoffs. What's that? You kidding me?
It's that favorite time of year. Oh, get it. Get it.
Oh. They still beatbox in 2017? When Jim
Especially when
Moore,
I'm just going to freestyle.
when Jim Moore is laying down the beats, you gotta, you got to.
Oh, boy. Welcome, Patriot Nation, to 2017, your AFC #1 seed.
No big deal.
New England Patriots back in the saddle again, as they usually are this time of year.
Like they always do about this time.
It's actually a celebrated day in Patriot Nation today, because 17 years ago today, you know what happened?
I do, but do you?
I do.
Tell them what happened,
Bill
Mike.
Belichick resigned as coach of the New York Jets. As he wrote on the napkin, I resign as HC of NYJ.
Hell yeah, baby.
So just a huge pivotal day in Patriots history, maybe one of the biggest days. You know?
I mean, certainly the historical significance is not lost on Pat's Nation. As
definitely top three.
It's come up roses ever since.
Roses.
If that was a fork in the road, it's gone well for the Pats. Put it that way.
It's true. Gang, welcome to 2017. I'm Mike Conley, and who else is in the house? Danny, tell them who you are.
Hey, Mike. Yeah, the name is Denny Harris. So you can find me on Twitter at Deehaas, Deehaas. How about yourself?
Still not on the social media, but you can hit up D-Haas with any questions you may have. You want to kind of throw yourself into the show, steer it in another direction, hit up D-Haas on the Twitter, or you can hit us up on the YouTube chat room. If you listen to us live, we really appreciate it. If that you're not, you listen to it later in the week or watch them later in the week, throw some comments up in the YouTube section and let us know what you're thinking about the Pats. I mean, did we get a barometer? Is this really a good team, or is it they just played a weak schedule? You know,
It's a good team.
okay, I like that.
They did
I like
play a
where your
weak
head's at.
schedule, but let me be the first to chime in. I feel like we've seen enough games to know who this team is. You know, I don't think there's some mystery team out there that's light years better than anyone we played. So yeah, we'll see what happens now that the games matter. But
I mean, I'm just
gotta feel
saying,
good
just to
about the
play
odds.
devil's advocate here.
Yeah, please
okay?
do.
The because you look around the AFC, and I don't want to get out ahead of myself. This is just with my devil's advocate hat on. But who scares you in the AFC? Pittsburgh, maybe, and Kansas City.
Yeah,
Those are
definitely.
the two teams that perhaps can beat the Pats.
Coincidentally, the other two teams that have starting quarterbacks
Right.
on their, NFL level quarterbacks.
But then you look, so it seems like definitely a walk to that. I mean, it's going to be a sad day if they don't make the AFC Championship
Absolutely,
game, obviously.
absolutely.
And
For
then,
the fifth time in a row, I believe, right?
yes, I mean,
Which is
it's-
just stupid. It's just getting silly.
It is. I mean, thank God the Pats were able to push through. You know, but it's time to. I mean, you look at like when the old God to the new God. It's like we only got that one Super Bowl victory.
This is true.
Both still flaw. Both
In the
yeah. So, but
No
I
question.
mean, but even so, still, you know, I mean, we're a little bit like the Atlanta Braves. You know, if you just don't count 01, 03, 04.
Yes.
You know.
Other than that,
Other
though,
than
yeah,
that.
it's a perfect analogy, and it holds up.
No, but this before. I mean, I gotta slip in some validity to this point. But then you look at the NFC, and everybody's got a legitimate quarterback.
Yeah.
You know, so you look at try and get a barometer of how this team is. Seattle, one of those teams that could come out of the NFC,
Right.
beat us on our home turf. So that was like our one measuring stick, and
Yeah, I mean, to go through the season, you're gonna have hiccups. We had 2 games we lost. One of them with TB under center, and it was against Seattle. They're a team that obviously can beat you on a given Sunday. Will they do it twice if they have the chance? That remains to be seen. Certainly, I think there are 2 teams, as we just hit on, in the AFC that have a shot and could legitimately knock us off. I mean, it will be shocking if they do it, or maybe shocking is too strong a word, but it'll be certainly disappointing. I mean, the Pats look hands down the best team in the AFC. The NFC, I feel like it's really tough to say who's going to emerge out of the NFC.
It wouldn't be unprecedented, though. I mean,
Unprecedented it is now. I don't know if you know that's officially been changed now.
Oh, sweet.
2017.
Was that our president-elect that changed that one?
No question.
Nice. So he...
Unprecedented.
Yeah, unprecedented. It
would be
unprecedented.
unprecedented.
I mean, it's appropriate. It's appropriate word.
Everything is now unprecedented.
Oh, boy. Oh, Lord. Anyways, yeah,
But I
thanks.
digress.
Yeah, thanks for spinning me off the rails.
No worries.
We got to come about his... Oh, I didn't know AfterBuzz had sports talk. Pretty cool. Right on,
hey,
Jordan. Listen to
Jordo.
us, brother. We got, it's a growing program, slowly but surely. I know you're probably popular with the wrestling shows and all those and the MMA and stuff, but we're getting like major four sports going here. So got a couple baseball shows. We got this one. So tune in. As usual, we're coming to you from lovely North Hollywood from the AfterBuzz Studios. Thanks for everybody listening or watching. So they were able to get a nice win this past weekend versus an old foe.
Yes, sir. Nice. Always nice to go down to Miami and take the W. It's
Right?
been
Tough place to win.
a few years since we've done it.
And
Feel
hey, how was that not a measuring stick?
There you go.
Beating
Well-
a playoff team on the road by 3 touchdowns.
Similar to the Patriots,
Backup quarterback.
The Miami Dolphins also played this soft schedule this year, so I think that's a factor for them as well. And I think they don't match up to the Pats. I think it's fair to say that, in their defense, they're decimated by injuries right now too. So you got to give them some credit for kind of rebounding from the beginning. The early season they started out a little slow out of the gates, and I mean they played well all year, enough to get into the dance. So more power to them.
You just look around the league and everybody's kind of got one or two tough injuries.
Oh, yeah, of
going
course.
into it. But a guy whose name we haven't heard in a few weeks, Rob Gronkowski.
Yeah.
The truck rolls on. I mean,
The truck does roll on.
The train rolls on.
The truck.
If the truck was on rails, it wouldn't roll on.
The truck's name is LeGarrette Blount, my friend, and it does roll on.
Oh, he's a stud. But Gronk, though, I will say this. I mean, now that we got former Bengal Matt Lengel, I mean, maybe that's why we can't really, don't even think of him. But you look at, like, around the league, like Seahawks missing Earl Watson. That's a big one.
Right.
Kansas City's got some banged-up defenders. Derek
Right.
Johnson's out.
Right.
They got Eric Berry, who's kind of dinged up right now. So
Yes.
it's going to be interesting, and what happens then is that next man up mentality takes over, and that's obviously why we love this Patriots team.
You're damn right it is.
But going back a few weeks ago, talking about injuries, I was like, all right,
All right, this is me talking to myself.
this is me.
This is my inner monologue. So I says to myself,
So I said to myself, Danny Amendola, all right, I think he's going to be back for the playoffs, So it's like we bring in this Michael Floyd. He's serving a roster spot, all right? But I'm thinking Amendola will be healthy. Maybe this guy doesn't even make the playoff roster. But then, then Malcolm Mitchell is out
Right.
all of a sudden, But it looks like maybe he'll be back for the playoffs, knock wood. But after his performance this past Sunday, there is no way you can leave Michael Floyd off the
dude's a
playoff
weapon.
roster.
The dude's a weapon, certainly. And he's a big guy. Everyone's talking about the big hit. Also had the amazing touchdown. I mean, the touchdown was Gronk-esque, right?
It was.
Dragging, I think it was 4 defenders when all was said and done.
Yeah.
And just he wanted it more than they did, and just took matters into his own hands, took it into the end zone. Pretty impressive stuff.
Very impressive.
Also had that toe touch grab along the sidelines. And he had another nice grab that I think ultimately got called back for a hold, but
Right.
pretty good day for the guy.
And that
Pretty good day.
decleater of a block on
Yes.
Edelman's, kind of like the game-clinching touchdown there once they got that.
Oh, yeah. That was huge.
they had kind of cut it to 7 or 6, right?
Right.
And, then getting that, I was thinking, oh, that's good. That's a good conversion. And then all of a sudden, wallop.
Oh, man, that was huge.
Tony Lippett, no relation to Ronnie, is still picking his molars up around midfield.
That was a brutal hit. You didn't see it coming. Always nice to see. The play, that was a huge momentum shift because between that and the turnover, as Miami was coming back after that, I believe it was. But
Yeah.
just 2 huge momentous plays that really kind of drove the nail in on those guys because they were fighting the good fight.
Yeah.
They got back in it. started off looking good for the boys, just driving it down with ease. The first 2 drives, it was just
That first drive was like,
systematic.
oh, systematic. I mean, taking off 7.5. If I was a nitpicker, there's one thing I would say is 12 got hit a little too. He maybe got hit like 3 times on that drive.
He did.
One on kind of an end around, but I mean it was great to see. But definitely Floyd, stole the day with his 2 plays. I mean, just taking the entire Miami defensive backfield into the end zone with him, and then that to Cleater, and the whole sideline is going bonkers.
Of course,
oh
yeah.
So it's like, I mean, I think it's it's just brings up a good lesson for some of these young receivers coming into the league. Just drink and drive until you wind up on the Patriots.
Wow. Wow.
Oh, check that. I'm told that isn't good advice.
That is incorrect,
That is
friends.
not good
Do not
advice.
drink and drive.
Oh, no, yes. It's bad.
That hit, though,
Call Uber.
in a huge contributor to the day that Edelman had ultimately. One of his biggest weeks of all time. Ended up with AFC Offensive Player of the Week. 8 catches, 151 yards, 1 touchdown. Career long, 77-yarder. That Decleater we're talking about.
Yes.
But those were career highs for receiving yards and in a game, and also for the season, then, ultimately.
Yeah, I mean,
Not bad.
Anybody
Thanks,
that
little graphic that I just read that off of.
anybody, do you want to give a shout out to that website?
I mean, no, we're good.
Any did I lose it?
Anybody out there?
Anybody out there? Yeah.
Chiefs are tough. They aren't explosive, but they could maybe take a grinded-out playoff game. I think I'm more worried about Pittsburgh, not to jump all the way over the place, but
that's all right.
yeah, I think the Chiefs worry me a bit. They're a pretty dang complete team. They have a good D also. They have a pretty explosive O. They got a lot of weapons. I just think with Andy Reid, the guy's a very good coach, but he's not a great coach, in my opinion.
Right.
He's good enough to get him to that AFC Championship game and then just botch it in some way where he mismanages time.
Are we talking Tomlin here?
And I'm talking Andy Reid.
Andy Reid, yeah.
Tomlin, yeah, I could definitely have a soliloquy about why I don't think he's going to get it done either. But the Pittsburgh, to me, is their weapons. I mean,
They're impressive.
they're an explosive offense. I don't think they're as complete a team as the Chiefs, but I do think they could get it done.
Yeah. Pittsburgh is where their Achilles heel might be stopping the run.
Right.
Which we talk all the time on December football being a necessity if you want to continue into January football. But it's been inconsistent at best, so it remains to be seen. I mean, one of the guys that gashed them, they get to come to their place this week, Jay Ajayi, during the year, has a 200 game on them. So that'll be interesting to see. Well, I don't want to jump into the playoffs just yet until we put to bed the Jets game.
Yes,
the Miami game. Is it put to bed?
I mean,
One thing TBD did. Got to that 28-2 that we talked about last week.
Yes.
So now he is the title holder for the best TD to
interception ratio.
Thank you.
Yeah, a few other little
Complete
things.
each other's sentences.
No big deal. Well, I mean, it's not like we exactly complete each other's.
So good. Sentences.
Thank you, sir.
Dude, it's so good.
Logan Ryan with another pick, which was huge. I thought that was great. Obviously, Jules, which we touched on. A little love to Jordan Phillips on the Dolphins. How about that, dude? Big, strong man making a few back-to-back plays. Just give him a little bit of love.
I did want to give some love to another Dolphin now that you're on. So Cameron Wake, because there was one rush where
He's a beast.
his momentum, could have naturally easy taken him into Brady's knee area, and he kind of made a play where he kind of stopped his momentum, and I thought it was a very sportsman-like play.
Very sportsman-like.
So
Any
if
other
he comes
great
up on free
sportsmen
agency,
along that D-line that you want to touch on for Miami? Ndamukong Suh, the sportsman.
Yes. And obviously him and LGB, get dusted up. Another TD, by the way, no big deal. This kid just unleashing blunt force trauma throughout the league. I got to tell you, he's probably given up 50 to 60 pounds to Ndamukong Suh.
Oh, yeah.
But if they're both in an alley, I'm
Well,
taking
we know
LeGarrette,
he's got
baby.
a good cheap shot in his back pocket, as
Boom!
we remember from his college days.
Yeah.
Dude still has that knockout power when no one's looking, that's for sure. He will lay you
sure-
down
I'm
if
sure-
you're not looking in that direction.
I'm sure Sue has a few of those. no
Yeah,
doubt.
I don't want to mess with Sue. I don't know. He might be. I don't know. I think LG has him in the street cred department, perhaps, but Sue is a big boy.
He is.
yeah.
Stick and move, baby.
Got
Stick
it.
and move.
You got to.
know?
Speaking of LG, our boy Amar Singh on Twitter brought it up too, and it's been something I've been paying attention to a lot. Folks in Boston, more the media types in Boston, don't seem to be as hyped about the season that LG is having as most of us in Pats Nation seem to be. I mean, the dude broke the all-time Pats record for rushing touchdowns.
Yes.
Had a pretty dang good season. I mean, the O-line, as we've touched on again and again, is much improved, so obviously that has something to do with it. But I think what else do you want from that role? I mean, the guy's not necessarily,
What points do these pundits make to support
they just think he's overrated, that he's basically punching the ball in, that his yards per carry average is, like, deceptively high, et cetera,
You
et
still
cetera.
got to punch the ball in.
The dude, I think,
You know?
I mean, I think you're...
Ask Pete Carroll.
I think it's a fool's errand to try to say he hasn't been valuable. One other thing, as I was looking at some unofficial stats today that caught my eye, as far as rushing TDs on the year, do you know who is? He's got 9. He finished the year with 19. Is that correct?
Okay. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Or 18? Maybe it was finished with 18. But either way, the next in line. Do you know who's next? Rushing touchdowns on the Pats?
Maybe on the Pats.
Yeah.
Oh, it's got to be.
Jacoby Brissett with 1. No other rushing touchdowns.
That's
per,
interesting.
Per the unofficial stats. That
Thank
I'm
you for not leaving me hanging in the breeze there.
No problem. I didn't want to waste anyone's time because
Wow.
there's no way I would have guessed that. So no QB. TB never punched it in from the 1. Dion in his short stint. James White. Nobody else toted the ball across
That's
the
amazing.
line.
That is amazing.
Other than Jacoby Brissett.
That
is pretty amazing, actually. So he did the Lord's work when it came to, grinding it in for some of those TDs.
You're damn right he did. Hey, Gamer Girl checking in. Thanks for tuning in. She'd be shocked if Miami wins the game in Pittsburgh. So wouldn't we all.
Yes.
So wouldn't we all.
I'm with Gamer Girl.
So
no doubt.
The only thing is to not hop on it, but if you can't stop the run, that is, that's a difference maker. That changes the game a little bit. So I do think, he doesn't have to go back, Tomlin, for tape on them not stopping J.J.
Right.
Like week 6. So I'm sure that they're getting that in their grill all week, and I'm sure they'll step up to play. But because, if you can grind it out, 5 yards of carry, you get that clock going. It doesn't matter how many weapons you got on the offensive side of the ball.
This is true.
So,
This is true.
but thank you for the shout out. Appreciate it.
Last other huge play in the game, which I think we breezed over, but that just another big-time momentous play by McCourty, which he's been kind of pulling quite a bit lately, and then the big return by McClellan, who also just...
Seemed to blow a tire at about the 35.
He did. He did. As Zolak was pointing out after the game, though,
Zo.
the kind of heads-up play by most of the other defenders running down the field, not getting greedy on that return and just nailing someone from behind, and getting a flag.
Yeah.
So kind of heady play, when in doubt, don't get the block in the back and bring the whole thing back.
We got to mention all those good points.
You do.
So
You do.
infrequent.
Where's the beef?
A couple attaboys out there to some maybe getting some hardware. Matthew Slater wins the Bart Star Award. Congratulations on him. Kind
Yes.
of an award that recognizes excellence on and off the field.
Yeah, did you happen to catch the great video on Patriots.com now of that if you haven't seen
I
it?
did. I
Yeah,
did.
it's near tearjerker
Sure
type
is.
stuff. Yeah, he gets a little choked up talking about his old man who also won it back in '96.
He did.
Pretty cool stuff. It's always nice to see those team moments where all the guys are in there.
I love them, dude.
Oh, it's good stuff.
Those locker room celebrations, I wait for bated breath for those to be posted. Those are so good. Very similar all the time,
Very
It
similar.
starts with like TB12 coming in, hugging Bob Kraft.
Oh yeah.
Hey, babe.
Yeah,
That was a
those
big
are
one,
those
babe.
are all script. Hey Tom, hey, do you mind just going
Yeah.
and give one of your teammates a little hug? I know you're about to hop in the
And
SUV,
action.
but- Yeah,
Action.
I mean
You're jilted by
you definitely
reality
look at the
TV,
way
my
those
friend.
are edited, no question.
Yeah.
Correction, by the way, that comment about Blunt was from our boy David Gerard, not to be confused with David Gerard.
Oh, former Jacksonville Jaguar.
We'll get to Amar Singh's point in a little bit
Okay.
when we're talking about old Josh McDaniels.
I know that. What were you saying? Sorry.
No, all you, my friend. What were you saying?
I was going to say what's up to
Fantasy Stats Guru.
Fantasy Stats Gurus, our star Drew. He's giving us props for beating Miami. We didn't do anything, but we're excited about it.
Jordan's talking about Amendola coming back, too.
Yes, and he was in practice today.
Sure was.
I believe limited. So at practice, but he was there. You are absolutely right for that. And I'm sure he's going to be the guy catching punts in 2 Saturday nights.
Which is good news.
No question. Huge.
I'm interested to see how they're going to handle that if everybody's healthy, which it's looking like they're going to be in 2 weeks' time. What are they going to do with the? Is it even possible to carry that many guys? I mean, as far as how that's going to impact your roster.
As far as
At wideout, it's
just
a
getting
heavy
Amendola
load to
back,
carry.
yeah.
If you have Jules Edelman, you got Edelman, you got.
Man, that's another roster spot.
Whoa,
Because we can't drop Jules or Edelman.
He's twice as good as most guys. But I don't need to name all the guys, but essentially, it's getting a little deep. If you're now trying to carry Floyd and Amendola, somebody's gonna. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah,
if
I wonder.
Mitchell's health. I don't know. We'll see.
We'll know soon enough. But where is a position where we don't need it? Do you take one less offensive lineman?
Right.
It's like,
Yeah, that's the thing.
but I don't know. But he's a master tinkerer with the roster.
He is.
BB, we trust. No
Yes,
doubt.
that we do, my friend.
A little off base, but how about those Giants being down in Miami and throwing that stuff up on Instagram?
What do you think about that?
I mean, I think it's fine. I think it's your off day. Do what you do.
Right.
Zip, zip, zip. These guys can hire jets. It's
No
like,
big deal.
as long as they're not garbage at 10 a.m. I mean, the next day when they're supposed to be there. But if they're back, they're on time and they're ready to go to work.
A lot of guys in our growing up watching like the Lawrence Taylors of the world, I think they were no stranger to mixing it up the day before a game or a practice. Strolling in 0 hours of sleep. As long as you produce, hey.
That's it.
But yeah.
I mean, I hear you.
It's a different day and age, though. You can't get away with anything nowadays, man. So if you take a trip with 3 of your buddies on the team down to Miami and you're taking shirtless boat pics, it's going to get out. People are
because Biebs is going to have his iPhone with him.
Haters going to hate.
He's going to Instagram.
Haters going to hate.
That being said, if I was, the Packers, I would have that picture up in the the locker room, and maybe out on like bulletin boards that I had out in my practice in the freezing cold that wasn't in the bubble. They can some big pictures of that.
Heck yeah, baby. Maybe crank some Biebs in the stadium.
That's it. Also, we're talking about guys getting awards. Ty Law finalist.
Yeah,
for
Hall of Fame.
So that would be good to see. We're all pulling for Ty Law.
Fringe candidate, you think, or?
I wouldn't say fringe.
No, you feeling good about his odds?
I think he's going to have to wait a few more years.
A couple other big names in that pool. There was
there's some first year guys that are probably locks.
Yeah, the other LT.
Yeah, LT too.
Yeah,
he's probably getting in. Brian Dawkins.
Yes. How do you feel about Jason Taylor? You feel like he's a fringe guy?
I feel like he's kind of in the same group Ty Law is.
Yeah.
I think maybe he shouldn't be a first ballot. He should be. But
he was pretty dominant.
Is this Ty Law first ballot? Is this his first?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, it'll be interesting. I wouldn't be shocked if Ty doesn't make it his first go around.
Yeah,
but.
it seems like a pretty strong class.
Yes.
So old 2-4, we're pulling for you though here at Patriots Wrap 360.
That's correct.
You can bet that.
One other season-ending point. We've been talking a bit about the evolution of Marcus Cannon, but a great stat that I saw on the old Twitterverse today from old Jeff Howe out there.
Okay.
Marcus Cannon didn't allow a sack on Tom Brady in their 11 games together this year. 6 QB hits and 4 pressures. In the AFC Championship game alone last year, he allowed 8 hits and 2.5 sacks on Brady. So that's night and day.
Well, we call that here on this program.
The Scarnecchia effect.
I was going to say Dante, but you pronounced it so well.
Scarnecchia effect.
The Scarnecchia effect.
Yes, sir.
Speaking of which, on that decleater from Floyd, if you go back, there's a German call of it on Patriots.com. I would suggest you guys watch that. So I think Jordan kind of had a suggestion for who we leave off. That's Cyrus Jones off the active roster, but I think he's already been a DNP the past few weeks. So
he's been
that's not really
healthy
a roster
scratch.
Spot. But
although
he's already made his bed.
They've alleged that he's not healthy, but that remains to be seen. Mental health is also a factor.
Yes.
Mental health
can't
is
catch
also
punch.
a factor.
That's mental health.
So yeah, I mean, you got to feel good that we talk about the milestones that the Pats have kind of checked off, and another box is now checked. We finished off strong with the #1 seed, baby.
Huge.
6th time the Pats have owned the #1 seed since 2000. Super Bowl 4 out of those previous 5, and they've won 2 out of those. So
It's crazy. I was looking at some of the, since that date, 17 years ago, January 4th, 1999, when Belichick resigned. So the Pats have 4 Super Bowls,
yes,
and the Jets have 1 division title.
yes. So it's been a toss-up as far as who it's worked out for.
Oh,
Yeah, things are going all right in the Bill Belichick era.
oh, so good.
A couple milestones if you want them.
Bring them.
Let's see. There's too many to count here, but just a couple season cappers. Won the AFC East Division for the 8th consecutive season, the longest streak in NFL history. Only team in league history to win 13 titles in a 14-year span.
Crazy.
6th season with at least 13 victories. 5th team in NFL history. Blah blah blah. 16 consecutive seasons with a 500 or better record. Bill Belichick. We've talked about all these things.
Yeah.
201 regular season victories. Oh, it's amazing. Just pour it on, though.
It's so good.
Brady
that
also
14th season not making the playoffs was Matt Castle led 11-5.
Yeah, and they tied for
Yeah.
first place, but lost on the tiebreaker. It's a beautiful thing.
It's
Brady
crazy.
also he ended up. That's one thing to note. Also, he passed Marino last week.
Yes,
so.
he did. So now he's 4th all time.
Yeah, Peyton Manning, Brett Favre, Drew Brees, and he just passed that chump. So
He couldn't pass a better guy.
in a better place.
Maybe if he got his offensive lineman more than gloves each year, he would have had a Super
Those
Bowl.
isotoners.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I have a feeling that it wasn't up on the jumbotron in the newly remodeled stadium.
They didn't
down in
start the
Miami.
game. Bring on orange blazer. for
Ladies and
Brady.
gentlemen, your attention, please.
Oh man. So Saturday at Foxborough is going to be a busy day for one Mr. Josh McDaniels.
Yeah.
News is the Rams are coming in to interview him and Patricia,
Yeah.
and the Niners and the Jags.
Yeah.
Right? So
And yeah, the Chargers, I think, for Patricia also. So
Wow.
Rams and Chargers for Patricia.
wow.
And also the Niners are talking to Nick Caserio too.
That's what's scary to me.
The double
because-
whammy
Well, it's the
potential, or-
double whammy and the triple whammy of Colin Kaepernick's gone, so McDaniel can handpick his own Q.
Yeah.
So
Jimmy G,
that
think,
I know. So it could be a triple whammy, and it could be Jimmy G. I could see that
whammy.
going. The only thing that gives,
Quadruple whammy. We get their draft picks for it. A
oh,
little front office wheeling and dealing.
Love it.
baby.
the only thing that makes me think that might not happen is Jed York. I mean, that guy is
Yeah, not the
He's
best
garbage.
owner in history.
right. So I think I read some article. I forget what was it, the Herald or something like this. They were like, and the chairman of the Lucky Sperm committee or something like this was Jed
yeah,
York.
no
I was
question.
like, oh
No
yeah,
question.
that's perfectly
I was
accurate.
born into it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So that's the only thing holding out hope there. But everything else is lining up. The fact that they're, a storied organization, but it's in the NFC, so he can kind of be
Right.
separate from Bill. And
Yeah.
I mean,
Who do you think now?
I think McDaniels is gone in Patricia stays.
That's my gut as well. I wouldn't be completely baffled or shocked if they both end up gone, but McDaniel seems like the no-brainer at this point. Patricia a little bit less so. I see
It would shock me. if
Fantasy
Patricia went.
Stats Guru is hoping the same as us. I
Yeah.
wouldn't mind seeing him either, but
Yeah.
there is a bit more. There's kind of a more obvious path, I think, as far as the continuity factor from promoting from within on the offensive side. I've been reading. I forget who had the article out today, but kind of throwing. I think it was Brian Flores a bone as far as another potential in-house candidate if Patricia's to go, because he's coached like the LBs and safeties over the
Okay.
years too. So could be the next guy in line.
What do you think about, McDaniels leaves. Chip Kelly's available. No-
Yeah,
no
I had
shot,
this
right?
discussion with my buddy. I think more. I mean, not unless Chip Kelly's willing to completely learn. He's going to have to learn the system. I mean,
Right.
basically, you have, an on-field coordinator. So, to me, his system is pretty different. I know that him and Belichick obviously have that relationship too. He's got the Northeast ties.
Yeah.
Even better than that would be if he went to Boston College and coached them, which I was talking about
Oh.
with my buddy too.
That's interesting.
Shout out to Brian Town and another fun West Roxbury gym
There you
on
go.
that
And
call.
they got like this kid Anthony Brown who redshirted this year, quarterback coming
Yeah.
up there, was kind of a dual threat guy too. That's interesting.
That would be pretty
I wouldn't mind
sweet.
see Tom Coughlin go back to the Heights
Yeah,
either.
is he still? Is he doing well?
They may get the Jags job.
There you go.
He's in the mix.
We mentioned last week too the Jags.
Who said you can't go back?
Hey.
Oh, boy, Tom.
Yeah, but the Jags, obviously, that connection we touched on last week, too, with McDaniels' old college roommate. Too,
That's true. That's true.
McDaniels is a goner, for sure. It'll be interesting to see. I know it's happened in the past, but it will be interesting to see how this weekend plays out for McDaniels and also how it plays out for another former friend of ours, Bill O'Brien.
Yes.
Because as you remember, when he was leaving, coincidentally, Josh McDaniels became
Right.
available, and it's like, oh,
Little symmetry here.
history repeats.
I can't believe he's on the hot seat.
I mean, it's silly.
It's
silly,
It's
yeah.
a little bit silly. Winning without a quarterback. In the non-quarterback bowl, Raiders at Texans this week. So, I mean, he's got to win that game, right? I mean, especially if the Raiders came out like they did in that Week 17 game where they had a bye on the line and they packed it in.
Yeah, I think he has to win it, apparently, to keep his job. But, yeah, I think they're favored to win, obviously, now, too. I mean, it's a bummer for
Yeah,
the
it's
Raiders
active.
and for Raiders fans in general. I mean,
It
it's
is.
a tough way.
And I think it's just a case like it seems like, okay, we had a good year. We'll
Right.
just build on it next year once we get David back. It seems like that's their kind of rationale.
Yeah,
right
it does look that way.
It's like the polar opposite of the next man up.
Yes.
You know, so
Yeah, it's
and I think that
next
comes
season
with
up.
winning. You
Next
know, and
season up.
just next season up.
Yeah, no, according to ESPN, America's favorite source for sports news, Pat's got a 66% chance of winning the AFC, and the Texans have a 2% chance.
Oof.
They got the Raiders with a 3% chance. But yeah, I was taking a look at some of the Vegas odds. Things looks like the experts out there, the guys that make money off this stuff,
Yeah.
feel pretty good about the Pats' shots of
Oof.
making it and winning it. This year, I feel like, we had 4 titles under our belt in the last 15 years. It feels like a less a jinxable situation. I
Yeah.
feel confident in saying that the Pats look to be the part of at least a Super Bowl team.
Yeah, so there's 3 teams that they can play in this next game. Obviously, Pittsburgh, if they upend Miami,
Right.
which Todd Drew's given a 10% chance of that happening. I'm going to give Miami a 17% chance
Wow.
of taking that upset.
17.
Pittsburgh just strikes me where they have that little wonkiness on defense. They also kind of like have this swagger that I don't necessarily know they've earned really just
Okay.
yet. So it'll be interesting to see. It'll be
Certainly,
interesting
they
to
haven't
see.
earned it this year. I feel like
Nobody knows who's going to quarterback for the Dolphins either. He won't rule out Tannehill, but it's probably going to be Matt Moore.
Yeah, I just think.
Sorry.
I mean, Matt Moore, as we've saw. I mean, the guy can bring it a little bit, but I just think in Pittsburgh they have the quarterback play. Can't hammer that home enough. I just think
true.
Big Ben is a big game quarterback. I wouldn't be. My money is on us seeing Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Okay. So Pittsburgh's going to win in Arrowhead.
I think so. Yeah, we'll see though. We'll see. I just think Andy Reid. I mean, the guy's
not a
done a
big game
formidable
coach.
job. I don't think he is, but
Wow.
maybe I'm wrong. They do have the more complete team. There's no doubt about it. But
Yeah.
I just think Pittsburgh. Maybe I'm just afraid of the history too. But recent history would give me no reason to be.
Well, I'm trying to be in the Belichick frame of mind here, Dennis. And, we have, another show next week. Even though the Pats are on bye, we will be back here at, Edelman Brady-ish p.m. Eastern Time, Wednesday nights. We appreciate you guys tuning in. But there was a point there. There was a point.
It might be these Pittsburgh colors
Oh,
coming
yeah.
at you that are
It
freaking you
is.
out.
Oh, yeah. So next week we can only play Miami, Houston, or the Raiders.
Raiders.
So most likely coming out of that is probably going to be the Texans, a rematch with the Texans.
Right.
Or the Raiders. Because
It's-
we don't
I
think
think-
Miami's going to win.
I think, yeah, Texans are your most likely bet. So, yeah, I guess if McDaniels does get a job and the Texans win this week, I don't think Bill O'Brien will be any help to us.
That's true. I think
That
they're
week.
grooming Brian Daboll, so I think it's going to be him. They
Yeah,
like
I mean,
to keep it in-house.
he's got the OC experience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't see the Dolphins winning in Pittsburgh. And unfortunately for the Raiders, it's just kind of slip sliding away. So it looks like the Texans would be our most likely opponent.
Yes, they do have a very good D still.
And the Texans, did we play them this year with
We should. We did.
and
27-0.
Who I can't
believe.
was Tom Brady there or
I don't think so.
nope, no, he wasn't.
No, it was next man up.
That was our third stringer.
So we're going to get the
Jacoby Brissett.
Brockweiler, who does have a win on his notch on his belt versus the Patriots.
He does.
Last year, regular season.
Not in New England though, was it? Weren't they both in Denver
In
last
Denver,
year?
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Can Brock Can Brock prove
The
America
Brock what?
wrong, or that that contract wasn't a terrible mistake? We shall see, my friend. We shall see.
Be interesting. Be interesting. All right, we got about a minute left. Is there anything else you want to get out there?
No, man. Great season for the Pats.
Great season for the Pats. We'll be here throughout the playoffs. Hopefully, we'll be doing our last show in February. You know, so that'll be nice.
All signs point to yes.
Ooh, yeah, doggy. All right, gang. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you dropping in on us. For Denny Harris, I am Mike Conley. This has been another edition of Patriots Wrap 360. Thanks for tuning in with us, gang. Rest in peace, Mr. Bruin.
Catch you later.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.